Hi folks, Anand draws first blood in the Fide Candidates. He beats Aronian in a close rival plays anti-martial system. The game starts e4 by Anand, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, white castles, bishop b7, rook e1, b5, bishop b3, black castles, h3, bishop b7, d3, anti-martial, d5, e takes, knight takes d5, knight b to d2. Aronian plays queen d7. Previously played was knight f4. One game was Adams versus Aronian Yerevan 2008. I think this was the Olympiad. The game continued. Knight a5, bishop takes f4, e takes d4, queen d7, knight e5, and the game was drawn. This was Adams versus Aronian 2008. But in this game, Aronian played queen d7. Another game was Topalov Leko, Nanjing 2009, and queen f5, queen d3, rook a d8, queen takes d3, rook c5, f3, and this was drawn as well. In our game, Anand takes the pawn on e5. Knight takes, rook takes, knight f6, rook e1. White is a cramped position. The bishop on c1 is not yet developed. So black is activity for the pawn. The point is for black to prove that there is enough compensation for the pawn, and Anand is playing to maintain the pawn and try to win the position. Rook e1, rook a e8 was Aronian's move. Game continued. Knight f3, bishop d6, bishop e3, rook e7. Black piles up on the e file. Anand plays d4, rook fc, rook f to e8, c3 controlling b4. One possibility was, instead of c3, was a5, and then play would mate continue like queen a5. Try to double the pawns on f3. Time to take the bishop on f3. So maybe play knight h4. But anyway, he played c3 and Aronian played h6, preventing bishop g5. And then gives back the pawn with knight e5, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, queen takes, knight d7, and then he tries to use the bishop pair to try to fourth weaknesses on the queen side. Rook a d1, knight f6, c4, c6, rook a c1 by Anand, rook on 5 to e7, a4. Aronian plays b takes c4. Another alternative would have been knight e4. Then Anand would have taken the computer version. Pawn takes, a takes, c takes, and rook a c1. Use of the bishop here and pressure on the a on let's say rook b, rook a1 to a7. That was a possibility. But the Aronian took the pawn on c4. Bishop takes, knight d5, rook c5, rook e4, f3, rook 4 on e5, king f2, bishop c8, bishop f1, rook on 5 to e6, rook d3, knight f4, rook b3. White is using the bishop pair and the weak points on c5 and a7. That's what he's trying to aim at. Game continues. Rook d8, rook e3, bishop e3, knight d5, bishop d2, knight a5, bishop a5, rook d e8, rook b6. If let's say one version is knight d5, rook b takes. So Aronian goes for play, attacking the bishop on a5, bishop c3. Aronian gives up one of the rooks by playing knight d5, attacking counterattacks the bishop on, but Anand takes the exchange here. Knight takes b6, bishop d4. Even if he plays knight d5, the pawn on c7 is gone. But he takes the pawn on a5, and he takes the rook on the pawn on c6, rook d8. Now the knight looks trapped. Rook c4, bishop d7, b3, bishop b5, rook b4, knight b2. And takes less attractive is, let's say, bishop takes b2, because he black is already d2, king e3, rook takes bishop, and this would give some compensation for black, but Anand goes for the clear rook, bishop takes b5, a takes b5, king a3, and Aronian is going to his knight on b2 is lost. They played on a few more moves, but Anand has won the first round, which is a good plus for him, since his game versus his world championship match versus Carlsen. Good stuff for Anand.